Pashupatinath is the most sacred Hindu sanctuary in Nepal. It is dedicated to Shiva in the form of Pashupati, the lord of living beings, whose temple gave its name to this place. For centuries, pilgrims and devotees have come here to pray in one of the major religious centers of the Kathmandu Valley. Like in Benares, now called Varanasi, in India, this sanctuary is closely linked to the rites of death. On the banks of the Bagmati River, families perform funeral ceremonies in the hope of granting the deceased spiritual liberation. According to Hindu tradition, being cremated in a sacred place dedicated to Shiva helps the soul break free from the cycle of rebirth. Along the banks of the Bagmati River, the ghats of Pashupatinath are used for cremations according to Hindu rites. The bodies are burned there in order to help the soul break free from the cycle of rebirth. On this bank, the small shrines have accumulated over time, built by different families, priests, or donors, which explains their variety of forms. On the opposite side, a long row of identical structures forms a more ordered ensemble. These small temples dedicated to Shiva, built according to a coherent plan, are used for prayers and offerings for the deceased, creating a ritual landscape of memory and purification. In this way, the two riverbanks express two complementary aspects of the funeral rite: the transformation of the body through fire, and the spiritual remembrance embodied in sacred architecture. For Hindu devotees, the Bagmati is not just a river. It flows through the Pashupatinath sanctuary, dedicated to Shiva, and its waters are associated with those of the Ganges, into which it eventually flows. This is why cremations take place here. Being cremated on the banks of a sacred river is considered part of the path toward the soul's liberation. From this perspective, death is not only a moment of mourning. On the ghats, some families sit, talk, or eat while the funeral pyre burns. The ceremony marks the end of a life, but also the passage toward a new existence. Cremations take place on these platforms, beside the sacred river. The body is placed on a wooden pyre, then set alight according to a precise ritual carried out by the relatives of the deceased. Fire plays a central role in the ceremony. It transforms the body and releases the soul, which can continue its journey through the cycle of rebirth. Once the pyre has burned down, the ashes are collected and entrusted to the river, completing the final step of the funeral rite. In the sanctuary, one also encounters ascetics of the Hindu tradition. Some live in detachment, devoting their time to meditation and prayer. Others, often called sadhus, occupy a more visible place in the life of the temple. They bless pilgrims, exchange a few words, and sometimes accept an offering. The world of the sadhus is very diverse. Some seek isolation, while others live in close contact with worshippers and visitors. All of them, in their own way, contribute to the spiritual atmosphere that surrounds the sanctuary.